Today is a relaxing Sunday afternoon, and I am attuning to the presence of my life and my experience at this time. I'm very thankful that I have clarity today. I'm very thankful that I have a passion or purpose in my life, and I just wanted to share some insights with you today from my own experience. I am forever and continuously evolving into who I am and who I'm meant to be, and I'm thankful for that. It has not been an easy process, and I don't think that if it was easy, I would have done it. So I know that my transformation had to come about in this way because I'm just built that way. I'm built for the ups and downs and the challenges that I've faced in my life to be able to manifest who I am at this time and to see the fruits of those manifestations in all aspects of my life. I'm not talking about abundance, but I am talking about abundance. I'm talking about growth in so many different areas for me that I didn't pay attention to before because I was so busy trying to just fit this mold of what I was supposed to be instead of embracing who I am and who I have been. And now I'm doing that painstakingly. I have been doing that unconsciously for the last 10 years. But life has just continued to show me that I need to be more clear with the intention of doing that and living in this way. I've had many fears that have overpowered me, and they've been all of my own choosing and doing, but it didn't start now. It started from a long time ago when I was a child. I don't really have and recall many memories of my childhood because there were a lot of harsh experiences that blocked me out from remembering the good ones. So all I can say is we had a big family, we have a big family, and we had a lot of ups and downs that shifted us in a lot of different directions, further apart than together. And that's kind of where we stand right now. And I know that that is also for a greater purpose within my life. I know that that will change as I continue to change, and I will reach out and be connected and present with my family, and who I consider to be my family as well. The framework of family is a dynamic that is established in our lives when we're young. Even before we know what that really is, it's there for us. We're born into it, and we just kind of pick up the pieces as we go and say, okay, this is my family, this is who I am, this is who I'm meant to be. And they show us how to operate in the world because of how they operate in the world. That's all we know. Those are the only reflections, those are the only examples that we have when we're coming up. So to change that after so many years of programming and intense indoctrination into a particular way of existence and living, it's hard. It's very hard. I'm on this quest of consciousness, this mindful journey, and or this mindfulness journey to live present and to live in awareness as to my life right now. And everything challenges me, primarily when it comes to my family. I look and I say, wow, I gotta shift all of that, and I think, oh my gosh, what? How am I gonna do that? How am I gonna get rid of how they want me to be? How am I going to get rid of the different relationships that I have within my family, no matter how dysfunctional they are? How am I going to get rid of all that? I automatically put everybody else's thoughts and feelings before my own so that I can say, hey, I am doing the right thing by them, so in turn I will benefit. But no, I'm not doing the right thing by them by continuing to allow them to dictate or to navigate my life path, my life journey. They were mere examples of how to live, but they're not the mark. They are not the standard. We get it mixed up and we get it messed up a lot by thinking that the way that our families are is the only way that we have for living our lives or reaching our full potential. And it's not true. My family is from a background of healthcare, of nurturers, of giving to other people, but all within that framework, I've seen them suffer. I've seen a lot of people pass on. I've seen a lot of people face a lot of different health challenges by taking care of others and doing so much for others that they neglect themselves in the process. I remember from an early age, once I migrated to the United States at a young age, I remember returning to my Caribbean home just for funerals, to bury our loved ones who had passed on. And that seemed to be a repetitive cycle, through my teen years. And that's the only experience that I have. I've seen all of these people that I loved so much growing up, and then I see them transition to not be here anymore. And they were all givers and they were all doers, and they did so much for people, and they did so many things of this nature. And in the midst of all of those things, I remember a lot of the stories from the relatives about their experience with these loved ones, and it was always just a lot of dysfunction. In the midst of all the good that they did, there was a lot of dysfunction within that. And that left me to feel like even though they were such good people, they still had broken pieces of themselves that they weren't working on. And in that way, that pushed for an earlier transition in their lives versus later. So I'm setting the intention, not only through these recordings, but how I choose to manifest my days, my life every day, to not live in that way. I am a nurturer, I am a giver, I care and provide for others in a variety of ways, but in the process of that, I have neglected myself. It has caused me a lot of inner bitterness. It has caused me a lot of outer bitterness. It has caused me a lot of sadness, lack of self-love. And I want to shift all that. I want to change all of that now. I have put on a good face and a good front for so long. And now being independent of just the structures of my family, it feels liberating. I have been, I won't say ostracized, but I have been alienated from my family, my large extended family, for many years. And they're all over the world at this point, but it just seemed better that way. But I always had this inner resentment to them that, they thought that I wasn't good enough to be a part of their clique or their experience, because I didn't walk the way they walked. I didn't pursue the things that they pursued, and I didn't live my life the way they did. But realizing that wasn't for me, that path and those paths were not for me. I was meant to use the experiences that I had with them to see how to find my own way and my own path. And instead of doing so, I just kept trying to fit in and trying to make them happy and trying to be accepted by them. And that caused me so much inner and outer turmoil. Like I said, people pleasing, trying to fit in, trying to fix the framework of my family to fit my family instead of to fit me. That I think is a really important thing to remember. We talk about it. You hear so many different people, doctors, scholars, everybody is talking about it, the importance of self-love and self-worth and self-value. And we don't really know what that means. You can't really understand what that means when you are in the dynamic of a family. To take yourself out of that dynamic and to just be an individual, a sovereign, it doesn't mean that you are not a part of that connection. It just means you see yourself as, hey, I'm one part of the whole, but we're not taught to do that. We're taught to see the whole before ourselves. That's important. It is important to see that, but when you lose identity, not to say the identity of self, but everybody comes here through an individual journey, an individual experience, and what it is that I am to learn and to grow through it's not the same as all the other people in my family. It may seem the same, but it's not. Because we all come here to learn our independent and individual lessons of experience. That's what makes us a more improved and better part of the whole. So I'm learning that. I'm learning to not take all of that stuff so personally, not to hold grudges against them because they don't talk to me and they don't reach out to me. We don't have a lot in common anymore because my life has shifted from the same aspirations that they have to the aspirations of my heart, that inner knowing within myself of what it is that I am to strive for in my journey. And learning forgiveness for myself and them is another point of importance for me. Learning how to forgive them for any judgments I feel they may have charged me with, and learning how to forgive myself with the same judgments. Holding myself accountable for them instead of holding myself accountable to myself. I'm learning along the process that it's so good to just know you and to love you, and then have a better view on others because you're loving yourself like you would love them. You're loving yourself like you want them to love you. So that's a real good thing right now. I'm learning that it's important to have this piece of understanding, knowing that the framework of my family can continue to be transformed and renewed as I continue to journey forward on my path. Primarily for myself. I remember saying something to my children last night. When I grow up, I don't want to, I was saying something to them because one of them had done something, and I said, when I grow up, I don't want to be. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of pauses on this as my mind, wanders back and forth. But I was saying that as I continue to connect with my kids and just have a relationship with them, I was talking to them and saying that, when I grow up, I'm not going to do what you're doing. And they just looked at me and laughed. And I didn't even realize that I had said it, that, when I grow up. Because I feel like I'm still evolving in this process of life and expansion and experience. No matter how aged I may be, I'm still a child in this process. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with saying that I don't know it all and I don't have all the answers. I've never wanted to be one that did, but I came into an experience and a background where, we knew everything, and or we have a lot of knowledge and insight, and a lot of people are intimidated by that process. So it's good to say that, I don't have all the answers. I don't want to have all the answers. And as they come to me, I don't have a problem sharing all that I do know and am aware of. I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for that. So I give thanks and show great gratitude for appreciating the youthfulness of my journey. I was rushing in the direction of accomplishment and striving for perfection, for the approval of others. And now, again, I look to my life and I'm striving for the approval of myself day to day. Did I do better than I was yesterday? Am I holding on to the ideals and setting the intentions that I want to see in my life manifest every day? Did I do that? Am I being truthful to myself? Am I honoring myself? Because that is the only way that I can continue to change the framework of my family, is by seeing my presence, my position, and my power in the framework of my family. It's only through that process. So that's kind of all I have to share for today. I give thanks for this platform, for being able to share my little goddess vibes, my goddess daily insights, and how they come to me. and manifesting the fullness of my destiny. Peace.